Boosie Badazz really going to jail, or is there more to this story than anyone expected? What started as another courtroom battle has now turned into one of the most talked about controversies in hip-hop. Fans are split, critics are loud, and Charleston White is celebrating like he won the lottery. But what's the real truth behind Boosie's federal plea deal? And what happens next? Let's break it all down. For years, Boosie Badazz has lived with one foot in music and the other in the courtroom. Every time it seemed like he was finally free, another case, another charge, another setback dragged him back in. And when his 2023 firearm charge got dismissed, he thought the nightmare was over. Music, shows, family, freedom, it all felt within reach. But the past has a way of catching up. Almost a year later, that same charge came back, only this time the feds weren't playing. A new drug-related indictment was added to the case, and suddenly Boosie was staring at consequences far heavier than before. And that's when the shocking news hit. Boosie accepted a federal plea deal. To fans, it was a gut punch. To Charleston White, it was a celebration. He mocked Boosie online, laughing, taunting, telling the world he knew Boosie was going to jail. He called it the downfall of a so-called street legend. And the internet? It exploded. Some fans prayed for Boosie, while others turned him into a meme. For every candle lit, there was a joke. For every show of support, there was mockery. But Boosie didn't stay silent. He went online, reminding fans he's still performing, still working, still living. His new album dropped the same week as the plea news, almost as if he wanted to control the narrative. He even addressed the rumors about canceled shows, making it clear, until sentencing, he's still on stage, mic in hand. But here's where it gets deeper. This isn't just about one rapper taking a plea deal. It's about the culture of hip-hop colliding with the reality of the federal system. Is Boosie folding, or is he just fighting smarter? Is Charleston White exposing hypocrisy, or is he just profiting off someone else's pain? And most importantly, what does this moment mean for the fans, the culture, and the future of Boosie Badazz? Because right now, Boosie is walking free, but with sentencing just months away, everything could change in an instant. So what do you think? Did Boosie make the right call by taking the deal, or did he just sign away his freedom? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this story is far from over. Boosie really thought he wasn't going on that pistol. I knew he was going. I couldn't wait to celebrate. I couldn't wait to celebrate. Boosie Badazz really thought he was in the clear. The courtroom battles, the constant stress, the weight of years spent dodging the system, he thought it was over. In his mind, the gun case from last year had been dismissed. Life was supposed to go back to normal. Music, shows, and a fresh start. He even said it himself. I was ready to move on. But God don't make mistakes. Just when it felt like the storm had passed, the skies opened up again. In a twist that shocked fans and fueled the internet rumor mill, Boosie revealed he just accepted a federal plea deal tied to those same charges, the ones he thought were long behind him. And it didn't take long for the vultures to circle. Charleston White, Boosie's loudest and most unapologetic hater, wasted no time jumping on the news. He said on a live stream, "I knew he was going. I couldn't wait to celebrate. I couldn't wait to celebrate. Boosie Badazz really thought he wasn't going for that pistol. I knew he was going. I can't wait to celebrate." He laughed, saying he would go live all day long when Boosie goes to jail just to rub it in. This wasn't just another rapper taking a deal. This was a public fall from confidence and a private war becoming very, very public. For Boosie Badazz, the courtroom has always been as familiar as the recording booth. Before the world knew him as a fiery Louisiana rapper with a cult following, Boosie was already entangled in the justice system. His rap sheet dates back decades, not petty trouble, but serious charges, major time, and close calls that would have ended most careers before they even started. Back in the early 2000s, Boosie's run-ins with the law were constant. Weapons, drugs, parole violations. But it all escalated in 2009 when he was indicted for first-degree charges. While that charge was eventually dropped, Boosie still served 5 years in prison on unrelated charges, mostly drug-related violations that kept piling up. When he finally walked out in 2014, fans treated it like a comeback story. Boosie was free, wiser, and ready to leave the past behind. Or so it seemed. But the streets never fully let go, and neither did the feds. In 2023, a new charge came knocking. possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. He caught the case in San Diego, and this time, the feds were watching closely. The charge was eventually dismissed, and for a moment, Boosie breathed easy again. He even went online, celebrated, and told fans it was all behind him. But if there's one thing that defines his legal history, it's that no win ever comes without a twist. In 2024, nearly a year later, that same charge came roaring back, this time with federal weight behind it. And it wasn't just a local gun charge anymore. Prosecutors added a drug-related indictment to the pile. No one saw it coming. The same case, but worse. The same charge, but now tied to even heavier consequences. And for Boosie, the most frustrating part wasn't just that he was back in court. It was that he was fighting a case he thought he'd already beaten. From his perspective, it felt like a trap. Boosie Badazz didn't fold easily. He's known for pushing through trial after trial. But when the refiled gun charge hit in 2024, stacked with a new drug indictment, something shifted. He wasn't just fighting a case anymore. He was fighting exhaustion. On X, Boosie made the announcement that shocked fans. Just accepted a plea from the federal government on my gun case. His words didn't sound defeated, they sounded drained. He said, "I thought this case was over and I was going to get on with my life. But God don't make mistakes, and I'm tired of fighting." It wasn't just legal fatigue. Behind the scenes, Boosie had been talking to his family, weighing the risks, the money, the years, the possibility of losing more than just time. In the end, the plea deal wasn't about guilt, it was about survival. Fans across the world lit up the comments, some confused, some supportive, some heartbroken, some angry. But Boosie had one message: say a prayer for your boy and go get the new album. That album, Words of Farewell, dropped right alongside the plea news, a mix of timing and tragedy. As Boosie signed the deal, Charleston White was ready. The second the news hit, Charleston pounced. No empathy, no pause, just pure mockery. He laughed on camera, repeating, "I knew he was going, I couldn't wait to celebrate." For Charleston, this wasn't just another rapper catching a case. It was personal. His feud with Boosie has been messy and public for years. They've traded shots. Boosie calling him a clown, Charleston firing back with relentless disrespect. But this time, Charleston had the upper hand, and he made sure the world knew it. The internet split in two. On one side, Boosie's loyal fans flooded the comments with support. "Stay strong, Boosie, we praying for you, big bro." To them, this was just another test, another trial in a story they've stuck with for decades. On the other side,
my DM full, a lot of people in my DM tripping about my shows in September because I go for my plea August 26th, but that ain't how I go in Fed court.
On the other side, the trolls and critics mocked him, calling him a quitter. Memes spread, TikToks used Charleston's audio, and old interviews of Boosie saying he'd never fold resurfaced. Now people said he folded. All that talking, and now he took a deal. Boosie ain't Boosie no more. Fans also started worrying about his shows. Boosie had performances lined up for September, but his sentencing hearing was scheduled for late August. Panic spread about cancellations and refunds, so Boosie stepped in to clear the air. On Instagram, he said, "My DM's full, a lot of people tripping about my shows in September because I go for my plea August 26th, but that ain't how it go. Once you take a plea, your sentencing ain't till 2-3 months after it, so I'm going to be at every show, of course." For now, Boosie is still free, still performing, still promoting, still posting. But with sentencing just months away, there's a sense of calm that feels temporary, like something is building. Some see his decision as strength, others see it as surrender. But one thing is clear, this moment isn't just about Boosie. It's about what happens when street legacy meets federal reality, when the old school code collides with the system that doesn't play by the same rules. And in the background, Charleston White's voice is louder than ever, using Boosie's fall not just for mockery, but to challenge the culture itself. Now the spotlight shifts to us, the fans, the viewers. Do you think Boosie made the right call by taking the deal?